Tree identification number 9. In this video, we are going to look at Sumac. We're going to have Mimosa. We're going to see Chinaberry, Paulownia, and Sassafras. So we've got a few invasive species on this list. The first one that we will start talking about is not an invasive species. This is the Sumac, and we're not going to get species specific on this. Sumac, the genus is Rhus, R-H-U-S, and this particular Sumac is what is referred to as the staghorn Sumac. So Rhus typhinia. Okay, this is typically the most common, along with the smooth Sumac and the winged Sumac. But basically, some of the characteristics of Sumac is you're going to have a pinnately compound leaf. Okay, you can see that it has serrated leaflets on this entire leaf. You see the serrated leaflets. This Sumac has already started turning purple, but picture it also as green. This is kind of what the fall color looks like, but picture it in also a greenish form as well. Okay, but the leaflets are going to be lance-shaped, as you look and see that these are lance-shaped, and again have that sawtooth leaf margin. Okay, it'll have a fruit that is like a crowded head with small red seeds, and most of the time the entire head is red once it matures in the late fall. So the leaf arrangement on Sumac is also alternate. As you can see, the leaves themselves alternate on the stem back and forth. They don't branch right there together. So that is Sumac. Rhus, and this is species specific. We're not going to talk or concentrate on a specific one, but this is the staghorn Sumac. Up next is Mimosa. You can see Mimosa has some really tiny leaflets. The leaf arrangement itself is bipinnately compound, and it's also alternate on the stem when you look at that. But the leaf is bipinnately compound, and you're going to have around 15 to 30 leaflet pairs. Okay? This tree itself is typically multi-trunked, so it'll have several trunks, but when you see it, it will have that flat, broad crown to it. Okay? You also see it a lot of the times in the springtime. You can pick it out on the road edges because it has that pink flower that's very showy that blooms, but this is an invasive species. Okay? When you look at the fruit pod, you've got like a bean type fruit pod that is flat. You can see this is very flat right there. Okay, so Mimosa, scientific name Albizia julibrissin. Third tree we're going to talk about is the Chinaberry. As we can see, this is one entire leaf. Again, another bipinnately compound leaf that we're looking at here. On the leaflets themselves, they'll actually be opposite, but the leaves are arranged alternate on the stem. Okay, so Chinaberry's pretty significant leaf shape when you look at it. There's going to be numerous paired leaflets here on this, as you can see, and the flower itself is going to actually be a purple flower that has like 5 petals. Okay. When you look at Chinaberry's fruit, you can see it looks like a miniature apple, but when ripe, this will turn like a golden yellowish color. Okay, when ripe, which will be soon, you can see they'll start turning here in another few weeks, and you'll be able to pick Chinaberry out from a distance. So again, Chinaberry. All right. Fourth, we are going to look at Polonia. So this is Polonia Tomentosa for the scientific name. Tomentosa in that species name is going to mean hairy. So when you flip this leaf over, it's going to have a very pubescent or hairy underside to the leaf. Okay, the leaf itself is broadly ovate. I mean, it's going to have that heart-shaped, essentially, but it's going to be long, and a lot of the times it will lengthen out, and it'll still have that pointed tip from the notched base. So also another thing to mention is that it can have a tooth, 1, 2, maybe even 3, but typically that's your general leaf shape right there. The flowers are a pale violet in color. Okay, they are also going to have a simple leaf arrangement when you look at this, and it's going to be opposite. So you can see these two right here kind of branch out opposite one another. Okay, so that's your opposite leaf arrangement. Again, very pubescent, and one thing that's very significant about the fruiting body of this is it's going to be this 1 to 1.5 inch pointed brown seed pod. Okay, you can see that's pretty significant right here, and it'll eventually, you can see how it splits into 2 parts. Some people say that it kind of looks like a cotton seed or a cotton fruiting body. Okay, so that's Polonia Tomentosa. The 5th tree that we are going to talk about is a unique tree in itself. It's got a lot of neat features to it, one of my more favorites. This is Sassafras, scientific name Sassafras albidum. And one of the first things that you'll notice about sassafras is it's going to have, basically it's trimorphic. So it has 3 different leaf shapes. So you can see one I'm holding right here has got that trident shaped leaf. So shaped like a trident, like the devil carries his trident around. And then you've got this really nice elliptical shaped leaf right there. And then you'll also have a leaf shape with this one lobe. It looks like a mitten. All right, so it's trimorphic. You've got that. It's going to have smooth leaf margins. Another thing to note is the leaves themselves. When you take them off and crush them up or even break the stem, will be fragrant. Smell really good. Just have this really significant type of smell, so I encourage you to do that. The stems themselves, too, when you look, especially on the new growth, are green. So you've got those green stems, which really separates it from some of the other trees that we've seen. We might, one of the other trees that we've talked about is the dogwood, also has on the green stem on the new growth, but a lot more green on this stem in comparison. Okay. The sassafras, one neat feature about it was used to make tea in the old days. So that's a unique feature about it. And if you've ever seen the fruit on it, it's a pretty neat looking fruit, not like really anything else, but it's going to have a small blue fruit that's seated on a reddish looking cup on a stem coming up. So we don't see it here, but that's what the fruiting body to the sassafras looks like. So let's look over these one more time in review. We talked about this first one here. And again, there's several different types of species in this, so we're not going to get too specific. Just know that a lot of the ones you see are different species, but this is Sumac. Again, you've got that compound leaf with the lanceolate leaflets, and again, with that reddish fall color starting to turn there, as you can see. We also talked about this one. Okay, you got that bipinnately compound leaf, really small leaflets. Okay, 15 to 30 leaflets on each leaf. Okay, with that flat pod. This is Mimosa. We also talked about this guy. Can have pretty large leaves. You can see some of these have been ate on. But again, in that significant fruiting body that's kind of almost in a cone shape as it comes up. But it's got that heart-shaped leaf, very pubescent under there, and that's going to be Paulownia. We also talked about this invasive, all right? And this is going to have those fruiting bodies that are green. Like I said, look like kind of like a miniature apple, but they turn yellow or a golden yellow in color when ripe. Okay, but this is Chinaberry. And then lastly, we talked about this one, the trimorphic leaf shapes. Break up the stem, very fragrant. Okay, this is Sassafras.